Right, so you want to add your files of your project to your repository you created. So let's start that from the beginning. I'm going to show you how I create my repository. Just going to go to my GitHub. So I'm at my GitHub, as you can see. I'm going to create my new repository. I'm going to call it temp because it's temping. it's a temporary repository. Create. All right. And then it's going to give me this basic one. You can either use GitHub Desktop, or I'm going to be using Git Bash, so I can just use the command line. And then I'm going to be creating the file. So I'm going to create a file on my, let's say my, let's go to F drive. I'm just going to call it new. I'm going to put it in here. Let me just actually call it Git. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to then CMD. You saw see what I did there? So I just went to the file path and typed in CMD. It opened the console. I'm going to type in git clone this. If this says something like you couldn't find the command, then you need to first go install git bash. Let me just go find the link. I'll also put it at the end of my video. But it's basically this website. You should go to download for Windows and then 64-bit Windows setup. But that's for another time. So if you, once this is finished, it should be temp. You can see it's now here. Then I can go open my Visual Studio. I'm also going to be creating a new project. So I'm just going to create a new project. Yeah, sure. I'm going to create a C++ or C# console project. I'm going to be creating it in my, let me go browse for it. So I'm going to be browsing to my F drive and I'm going into my Git. And I'm going to be placing it there. I'm going to say next. Yeah, next, that's fine. Doesn't really matter. Alright, so I can close this now. And if you go look here, I now have my console application 1. So I'm going to be copying this, or cutting it out. So I'm going to be cutting this to my temp folder. So I paste it in here. So it's no longer in console app 1. I can delete that folder. It's now in here. If I now open, as if you can see, I'm now in my temp folder. So if I now open CMD again, I type in git status, it should tell me about all the files that have been added. So these are all new files. So I'm going to type git add star. So that just adds all the files. Let's type git status again to see if there's anything. Okay, you can see these are all the new files it added. So I'm going to then type git status, oh no, just git commit -m. Dash -m means a message. So I'm just going to type the message in here. I'm just going to give it added project files. All right. It's committing, and now I'm just going to push this commit. So I'm going to say git push, and it's now going to be pushing all of these files to my remote repository. So if we go look now, here, and I refresh this page, give it some time, and you can see all my files are here added 16 seconds ago. Alright, so I hope this helped. This is not the only way to do it. There's many other ways you could have done this. I did, however, find that this is the easiest, the most reliable way for me to do it. But if you have your own way, then you do you. Cheers, guys. I hope this helped.